All right, hey everybody. This is Studio Six Paranormal Podcast. I'm your host Jay Hill with my co-host Shane Feek. How you living?
Yo, doing good.
Good. So tonight we have a great guest, Travis Campbell from Skip's Haunted Adventures. So, why don't? All right. So first off, before we get Travis on, I want to thank everybody for the support of joining in the documentary I'm working on for the Whaley House. I'm pleased that everybody responded positively to that. So hopefully I get something put together for next month and have these people on and talk about it. It's one of my favorite places. It was on my bucket list, and I was able to scratch that off.
Awesome.
So yeah. My second on there is the Winchester House. So.
Oh yeah, I'd love to go there, but
yeah,
that's a good long distance from me.
Yeah, it's a very good long distance from me too. So, but all right. So without further ado, let's welcome our guest. Hey, Travis.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. So, Skip, you're with Skip's Haunted Adventures. So, what's with the name Travis, but you call it Skips?
I did call it Travis Campbell for a little bit, then I named it after my grandpa who passed away 10 years ago from cancer, so I named my channel after his name.
Okay, that's cool. Nice. Yeah, that's really cool. So talk a little bit about how you got started in the paranormal and talk about some personal experiences that you've had.
The first time I started doing haunted videos was when I was watching other YouTubers like CJ, Mo, and Sunny Deeds and them, and I had a phone the one day, and I was like, and I saw what they did because they did it for a long time. So I said, I'm gonna go. I have a phone with me right now, but I don't have I don't have the spill box or anything like that. So I decided to take my phone and I made my own account, and then I went to the cemetery during daytime. And at that time, I didn't have no editing, so I just uploaded it to YouTube right away. And since I uploaded it to YouTube, it was about a 30-minute video. And next thing you know, I got like 38 comments saying, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" I'm like, "No, this is my first time doing a haunted video. Why?" So I went back to my video and people screenshotted me a whole bunch of shadow figures and everything. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have editing software right now. Not yet.
Yeah, right. Well, and that's it. I mean, when you post videos, I've done that where I've received videos from friends of mine, and I'll catch something and I'll say, hey, I'll bring it to their attention, and they'll be like, oh, I didn't see that or I missed it. Secondhand sight and somebody viewing your stuff is a good thing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So yeah. So let's talk a little bit about your personal experiences.
A couple things. Right before I moved to New York to be with my fiance, I was living in I did live in Illinois, and I started doing ghost hunting in the cemetery. I did bring a couple of friends with me at the time who was interested in what I did because they thought I was BSing them. Like, oh, that's whatever. I'm like, no, it's really. So after that I got 300 subscribers. I bought myself a camera and a flashlight and I got a spill box in my phone. And we went, and I'm like, fine, come with me at nighttime. I won't BSing you. They're like, okay. So we met up. We went to the cemetery, and we walked around. And one of my guys was holding my camera. And I always, every time I go in the cemetery, I always say a prayer, so nothing can happen. And all I did was like, okay, if there's any spirits here, let yourself known. Don't be afraid. I'm not here to disrespect you or anything like that. And instantly, I got a scream in the cemetery, and the two guys that were with me instantly freaked out.
That's cool.
And we checked that, and my friends had the phone on them at the time, and I said, God, I'm like, why don't we go around the cemetery and make sure there's nobody here that's doing that? So we walked the whole cemetery. We came back and we said, there's nobody in the cemetery.
Wow.
Cool. Yeah.
And at
That's
that
crazy.
time it was going, and at that time it was like at 11:30 at night, and there's like, and it was a school night, so everybody's in bed sleeping at that time. And
Sure.
after that, we went walking, and at that time I got the editing software to edit my videos. And all of a
Mhm.
sudden, I said, "There's any spirits here? If you want to make yourself known, you may touch me or anything like that." And all of a sudden, as soon as I said that, it felt like somebody kicked me right in the back of the lower back of my rib. And I went down, and I went down instantly. And they looked at me like, "Are you
Wow.
okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just got major pain." So they took a picture, and there was a handprint on my lower back on my right hand side, a big
Wow.
handprint.
Wow.
And
Oh, that's crazy.
it felt like a BB gun like got me.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Shane, have you ever been touched or scratched on any of your investigations?
No, but my wife has. She's had her hair touched a couple times.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's. I've never myself experienced it.
Right.
But,
Right. Well, you're still young. So.
yeah.
Yeah, I've actually had a couple of experiences too, where a couple big ones, but
I
yeah,
have
that's a daily occurrence for me almost. So
Yeah, I don't.
nothing new. Nothing new to me.
I have had a brand new flashlight I bought explode on me for no reason.
Wow.
Wow.
I have had a flashlight sit on top of the gravestone that will go off and on by itself when I be asking questions at that time. And then one day I was walking through the cemetery. I was on the bad side. When I was in Illinois, I called one side of the good and one side of the bad. And I was on the bad side because that's where I got the most activity. And when I was walking through the bad side, I'm like, "All right, spirits, nice try. You're playing joke on me. Ha ha ha. If
Right,
you're really
right.
here, why don't you show you know what off?" And all of a sudden, I just got like a full-blown push from behind. I fell straight on my face, and my flashlight and everything broke. And I was like, "Oh." I
Yeah.
didn't run away, and I still kept recording. I'm like, "Oh." I fell. I had to think about what just happened. And when I looked behind me, I was like, "What the heck?" And I went back and edited the video. I got a full blown white mist walking in front of the camera, and with two eyes and a mouth smiling, walking by me.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's cool. Now,
Uh,
do you
I
have
did.
do,
I
do
did.
you have do you have audio files? Do you have a recorder that you keep a bunch of your recordings?
Me and my fiance, we did order a EMF recorder where you can record while you talk and stuff, and that
Hmm.
should be coming in the mail pretty soon.
Okay. Okay. Um, what other tools do you use that you
Uh,
like to use?
I like the Nicophonic. We just me and my the other day, me and my fiance, we just got dowsing rods in the mail.
I have a set of those.
And we haven't tried it on video yet, but we did try it, and it works.
Hmm. Hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
I,
do you use your recorder on your phone at all?
I don't have no recorder on my phone. No,
What kind of phone do you have?
I have an iPhone 11.
Oh, you got a recorder. You've got a recorder on your phone. Then.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
there. So you just gotta
Every
find the
phone has a recorder.
Yeah,
And
I haven't. I really haven't looked up all the recordings on the phones. Only thing I found was the Nicophonic app and stuff.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
there's some good voice recorder
there's
apps.
some good reverse. So I have a Samsung. So
Me too.
and that's a standard on my phone, and especially iPhone. So if you swipe up and you type in what you're looking for, saying voice recorder, it'll pop up, and it probably won't be on your screen, but it'll be in your phone, and then you can just put it on your desktop on your phone. Those I use my voice recorder quite a bit when I'm on an investigation because it picks up everything.
Yeah, I do too. I use
Yeah.
mine.
I still have the standard, that you buy in a store, like the Zoom or something like that, but you just can't beat some of those recorders.
Yeah,
on the
and I
phone.
have like 3 phones you know, a couple of them, they don't even have service or nothing, but they're great for voice recorders and they're great for EMF readings.
Oh,
And they'll
yeah.
log, so I can use them as external extensions to my logging on my circuit board and stuff. So
Yeah,
Yep.
not that long ago, I did buy me a brand new camera, a 4K camera, and two memory cards, and after that, I've been using that camera, and I'll go today I just uploaded the haunted video we did at the cemetery. Well, I took it to the next level where I was provoking stuff in the daytime.
Yeah.
You
So,
gotta go easy.
yeah. The one thing that for me, myself, and for most everybody that know me, I do not agree with provoking just because of the simple fact that it's disrespectful. So depending on how you do it is the key. You know what I mean? So nothing against you, but I have to say that, you know, we don't do provoking at all because of the fact that it's counterproductive
And it's
in
rude,
my opinion.
kind of.
You know, so right, and that's the quickest way to get yourself shoved.
Yep.
Yeah, when I took my fiance with me a couple of times, it was I took her 6 times with me, and that's when she's gonna start her own haunted channel next week, and she loves it. She loves going with me into the cemetery and stuff, and I'd be like, for no reason, I'm like, I'm gonna provoke it. She goes, but I'm like, yeah, watch. And I'm like, if you have any balls or anything, she goes, Donnie, don't be disrespectful. Have some respect for the dead. I'm like, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, listen to your fiance. She's a smart lady. So, yeah, most definitely.
I try not to provoke, but sometimes when I do it, I get some response, and like
right. Well, you got to understand too that getting that response in that way is, you know, it's. I guarantee you get better responses with your intentions. If you're, you know, respectful and you want to, and you're just there to communicate, then that's fine. But any type of disrespectful, like provoking or anything like that, it's going to attract things that aren't so nice.
Yeah, and you might not get what you would think you're going to get.
Yeah, right. And I've had that, and I've seen that happen. I knew a long time ago not to do that, and so because of who I am, I just know that it's very dangerous. I mean, those guys on TV, you know, they do it. A lot of the times it's for TV. You know what I mean? I don't watch those shows like I used to. You don't watch any of those shows, do you, Shane?
Nah, very rarely.
Yeah,
if
very
it's going
rarely.
at somebody else's house and I happen to be there, I let it keep going, but I don't watch them myself.
I used to watch them all the time, and then they kind of got crazy, you know.
Well, and they got cookie cutter kind of too.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them, it's like you can predict every scene before it even happens after a little while.
Yeah, sometimes my beautiful fiance, she'll get on. She goes, "You don't need to be mean." I'm like, well, that I've been doing this a long time, and sometimes I kind of go overboard. It gets your adrenaline going. And she goes, "No, don't do it," and I'll do it.
Yeah,
she goes,
she's right.
She's right. She's right. Yeah. Yeah.
When I had the camera not facing towards her, and I will look over, she give me that look. I'm like, yeah, I know, I screwed up.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about how long has your channel been up?
It's been up for a long time. I started back in, I believe, 2018 or 2019. 2018. I have no idea. It's been a long time. Like 5 years. Like back in. Yeah, it has to be around 2018.
Oh, okay. So you've been on for a little bit.
Yeah, and I've been, and the first time I started doing videos, I will go out every day, start doing videos every day, night, just constantly.
So are there certain places that you go to that do you explore abandoned places, or is it somewhere where you contact somebody and say, "Hey, I would like to investigate," or just do people contact you?
I haven't had anybody contact me. I did have somebody in my hometown where I did live at Morrison, and I had did my grandmother time. She gave a lady my number, and I had a real number. I'm like, yeah, she goes, "Is this Travis?" I'm like, yeah. Why? They're like, my name is this, and I've been experiencing some paranormal in my house. I'm like, okay. She goes, "Is there any way you can come over and take a look?" I'm like, I can be over tomorrow morning and take a look. And sure enough, I went over there next morning, and it's about an hour and 45-minute video, and the stuff I caught was unbelievable.
Really?
I was using my Nicophonic app and stuff, and I caught some voices, and I had to go back maybe 6 to 20 times to see what I caught. And
Wow.
and when I left my camera down at the basement and stuff, I caught my camera slowly going down by itself, and I had my camera I screw my tripod in where it won't like fall or anything, and I caught my camera slowing down, and then I heard footsteps going from the basement to the top of the stairs, and nobody was there.
Oh wow. Yeah. Now, you live in New York,
Yes, I
right?
do.
Okay. Um, so have you experienced anything in the home that you're in now?
No,
No. Okay.
don't.
Which is probably for the good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You don't want your own space.
yeah.
I mean, it's
I
great
keep
for research, but it's terrible for your life.
I keep telling my fiance, I'm like, we should do a haunted house. She goes, no, no, no. She goes, it's a nice house. It's not good. I go,
It
okay,
makes
okay.
life more interesting. I've lived in several haunted houses over my years, and oh, there's the kitty.
Yep, I got a lot of them, so they'll
I
cycle
know.
through.
So yeah, so I also did my show for a year in a haunted mansion.
Yeah,
in
that
Lake
was
Geneva.
cool.
And that was cool. And we had some activity
During the show.
during the show, a couple different
Yeah.
times. Yeah,
Yep.
and
Cat
a
ball and
couple
some
times
other
it
stuff.
scared the
Yep.
crap out of me. And you know, so yeah, anybody wants to check out our YouTube doing that, then yeah, just check over to our page. It's probably like it's down the list. You'll find it. I labeled it that way. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I know a lot of people that don't care to be living or living in a haunted house or whatever, but to me, that's just like a normal day in my life. You know.
Yeah.
But have you ever lived in a haunted house, Shane?
Actually, ours has some strange things, but not really. I mean, we've had some, we had an incident with some dishes. We've had, the kids say, they see a little man that they talk to regularly, and they were old enough, 6, 7, 8 years old. They were old enough not to have imaginary friends anymore. So, we've had some
Right.
strangenesses.
Mm-hmm. Right, but
Yeah.
still, it's still
The wife's heard his voice a couple times.
yeah.
So,
At that age, 6
Still
and 7,
yep.
they're still not,
And our house isn't old. I mean, it's from the 90s. It's a modular. So, but still, the ground is old. And so, and there's a lot of Indians and things like that in our
yeah.
area.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, same with mine. So
Yep.
yeah. But I'm grateful that I don't have anything in this house. It's nice. It's quiet. So yeah. So Travis, let's talk a little bit about some of your ideas on equipment. Like, what would you say that would be, if you could afford it, what would you like to have?
The one thing I would like to have is one of those red pods.
Like this?
Yeah, that one. I did have one of those small kind of the one that fits in your hands REM pods, and I had that for a year, and every time I went ghost hunting, I would put that on, and I said, "There's anything here?" Or I would demonstrate in front of the camera and everything. I used that thing for a year ghost hunting. The only thing that seemed to attract the spirits was my EMF detector and not the REM pod. So after a year using the REM pod that has not gone off, I put that REM pod, I put it away. I'm like, I watch these other ghost hunters use the big red REM pod, and they
Right.
get, and it's like okay, they're more attracted to that, but when I had mine, they were attracted to my EMF detector.
Right. Okay. So
Okay.
so when you have, if you're looking for a REM pod, and just
Yeah.
like the one I just showed you, that is probably one that you want to save up for and buy. That's probably the more reliable one.
Yeah.
There's so many that are just random.
Oh yeah, fake ones.
They're fake ones.
You got to stay away from the inexpensive ones.
If you're gonna get, I paid $180 for mine. I did always. It's been that price for a long time. I finally just pulled the trigger and said, I'm just gonna do it.
Yep.
So, and I'm glad I have, because of the fact that it's more reliable. But I will say that when you use a REM pod or any type of REM device that you're looking for that EMF, try not to use your phone at all. Turn your phone on airplane, okay? Because your phone can trigger that. It even can trigger this one. And so
Yep.
if I'm using my REM pod and I'm using my phone to record or do whatever, I'm using it on airplane mode, and I'm not trying to interfere. So
absolutely,
for future reference, try not to use any electronic devices around it, because it could set that off, especially phones. Phones are notorious for getting false positives with homemade REM pods, EMF detectors, all that stuff. So that's why I was asking what kind of, when you're talking about the REM pod that you want. If you want it, that's the one you should get. Seriously.
I've been thinking about. I've been honestly thinking about getting one, but right now I'm saving money up because me and my fiance are getting married next year. So I'm saving money up for that.
Yeah, I understand. We've all done that.
Yeah.
I was married once, got divorced, and I never really had a wedding that I wanted. So next year we're actually gonna have the wedding of our dreams. So I'm saving money for that.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. There's a question from Jared Tracy. What do you think a residual haunt is? Do you know what a residual haunt is?
Not really.
Okay. So, residual haunt is like an imprint from the past. Okay? You play a record and it skips and it keeps playing over and over and over again. Okay? So it's an imprint from all the energy from the past, or something traumatic, or something for whatever reason. It's kind of imprinted itself on that. So when you go to a location and you say, oh, I'm getting this, or I get this on my camera or something like this, but you see it again, or other people have said the same thing, that's a residual. That's something that you can't interact with. It's not intelligent. It's just an imprint. It's
like a movie that plays over and over and over
and over and over again.
And a lot of times on the anniversary of whenever the event was,
depending on the emotional state that time and place.
Yeah.
Can imprint that.
Yeah, I had never had that happen.
Yeah. Right. So you might run into some of that where some of your equipment might go off, but it could be just residual.
Yeah.
So unless it's intelligent, hey, you'll know if it's intelligent. I mean, you'll be able to communicate back and forth. And the biggest telltale sign of that is if you're trying to communicate with something and you don't know if it's residual, but you never get a response in a sense where it's something that
it seems intelligent.
Yeah, it seems
if
intelligent.
You get a non-intelligent response that just kind of ignores you but keeps going, that's probably a residual.
Probably residual.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I know the video I did Friday, and I finally uploaded it today. I noticed that when I was editing the video, there's a couple of voices I caught that my fiance was using the Necrophonic app, because we have two phones that had no service. One has no service, one does, and we use the Wi-Fi or whatever for it. And and I was like, well, I'm gonna do something. And then she goes, what are you gonna do? I'm like, I'm gonna provoke it. She goes, no, and of course I don't listen. I do it anyways. I said, I'm giving you this one chance only. you have my permission to use my energy to do anything you want to me, but just don't do anything bad. And soon as we were walking up the hill, I got an instant, like somebody smacked me with a frying pan in the back of the head, and I had a intense headache, and it felt like somebody took a sleep aid and it slipped into your drink.
Uh-huh.
I had that happen, and I went down like this with my I was bent over, and I looked at her. I'm like, I felt like somebody just took a sleep aid pill, woofing my drink. I would kill a headache, and I took a picture, and my eyes were like red and glossy, like I've been
Yeah, it
drinking.
sounds
And
like
I
you
don't,
took a
and
pretty
I don't
hard hit on that
see
one.
it.
You want to
Yeah.
be easier.
So that's the case in point with the provoking, because the fact that what happened, and especially, and for your own safety, you're gonna do what you want to do, and I respect that. That's fine. That's your thing, but I would highly recommend that you never say I give you permission to do anything.
Yeah, because they'll
Once
take
you
that
give
time.
that permission to do something, anything can happen.
Yeah,
And I've seen
I have
things
had that
happen.
me a lot.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a friendly suggestion. Think about that, because, we wouldn't want something to happen to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I know,
but
yeah,
yeah.
I know. Right before I moved to New York and stuff, I did one more. I did when I was living in Illinois, no, Iowa. I did one more last video, and I had some friends living in Iowa with me. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, before before all this stuff happened and everything, I was like, you know what? I'm like, let's do one more last. I'm like, I want to do one more last video before I have surgery. Like, okay. I'm like, let's just go to like abandoned house or whatever. So me and a couple of friends were they had there was a ghost hunting team in Clinton and that I met up with, and they were subscribed to my channel, and they said your videos are great. We don't see nothing that's fake or anything. It's awesome. Like, let's meet up. So I met with them, and we did a video we found in the band house, and of course the guy who owned it, we called him up, and he came and met us. Like, we're professional ghost hunters. We do haunted videos, we film videos of paranormal. I'm like, do we have your permission to go in this house to do a video? Because 9 times out of 10, if you don't ask permission, you're gonna get arrested or have a fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Yeah.
he goes, yeah. He goes, you have my permission. Go right ahead, and when you're done, just text me, and I'll lock the gate up. It's like, okay. So we went in there. We did. With the guys that were with me, they did a 2-hour video. I did an hour and a half video. And right before I left, I'm like, okay. I'm gonna do something stupid again. And the guys were like, what's that? I'm like, I'm gonna provoke to, like, oh boy. And I'm like, if there's anything in this house that is not like me, I want you to give me a sign. I want you to use the energy off my equipment and everything, and I want you to use your full force and just and let me know when you want you out of the house. And all of a sudden, the guys caught a pop can, and a half full empty pop can they were drinking fly off the counter and hit me in the back of the head.
Yeah. Well, see, that's case in point. Don't provoke.
And that's when they looked at me like, we need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I stay if they let I stay for another 15 minutes, and after that my head was killing me. I went out and we texted the owner. I'm like, okay, we're done. Like, you guys come back? We're like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for him, Shane?
Yeah, I was just wondering, so have you been like keeping logs? I mean, I know you make your videos and stuff. Do you guys, collect any other stuff other than video evidence?
We try to take our phones out, and if we do any recordings, we try to keep them. But 9 times out of 10, when we try to do recording, we kind of get muffled sounds that we really can't understand what's coming out.
That happens, yeah.
So that's why we're waiting for that that one recorder that all the ghost hunters use, where they sit on the bed, they talk, and they play it all again. We're waiting for that to come in the mail. But we
Okay.
right now we're having bad weather. We do plan on going to
Yeah, I heard about that. You guys got piled of snow.
Yeah.
well, right now where we live at, we don't have we just got snow, and it's been like 50s and 60s almost the whole month.
Wow.
Yeah, and I guess, and after this weather's over, we're going to a new plan on going to a new cemetery in Westchester.
Okay.
A new cemetery where she wants to go to it's like a family thing, so I'm not gonna say it, that's private, but we're gonna go to this one cemetery that's new. We're gonna try something new there.
Okay. Okay. So, do you have a bucket list? Do you have a list of places that you want to go to eventually?
Yes, there's a couple places I want to go to here in New York that I found out that there was like a whole bunch of haunted motels. I There was one motel I want to go to. There's one that's not too far. It's a couple hours away. I believe that's a Stanley hotel.
Okay.
Oh, and the Shanley, you mean?
Yeah, the Stanley Hotel.
The Stanley Hotel's in Colorado.
Yeah, that I know that one I've been wanting to go to, but after I saw where it was at, I'm like, is it worth it?
Yeah, that's a long trip.
Yeah,
that is a long trip. I've been to the Stanley Hotel 2 or 3 times.
And then I guess there's another hotel called, I don't know, I guess the Shanley Hotel or whatever.
That's I think I've been invited to that too. Actually, I think you have, Shane.
Yeah, I've never been there.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah, you gotta come see it, but it's like, too much going on.
And I guess there's another haunted place that's like only like 26 to 46 minutes away from us, and that's a haunted amusement park with a Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, is that where the in my mind, I'm like, is that where the girl got crushed by that back in the semi truck or something? Because I saw the Ferris wheel, I'm like, that's got to sound familiar, because a lot of ghost hunters have been there and they've seen a lot of stuff.
I think I know what you're talking about, and that was just on somebody's show not too long ago, doing a documentary about. Yeah, it was an amusement park.
Yeah, it's like 46 minutes away from us.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool places, and a lot of people don't realize that you could find, places to investigate with permission, usually close to yours, close to where you live. And we've got places around here. Shane's got places by him.
We got local ones.
I mean, yeah, there's a couple places in Michigan, Mackinac Island I really want to go to.
No, yeah. You just want the fudge.
Yeah. No.
You don't care. Yeah.
And that hotel is really old. Isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, it's real old.
Yeah. So the history in some of these places, kind of precedes them. But if you had to choose someplace in the United States besides anywhere by you, what would be your favorite place to want to investigate if you had the opportunity? There's quite a few.
Oh yeah, there's a lot, but I like a lot of them.
Yeah.
If I had to say if I had a chance to, my favorite one that I would like to go back to, but I will not go back to Iowa, will be the Axe Motor House.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was offered before the spleen crap happened. I was offered to go on a TV show with a ghost hunting, and we were gonna stay at the Axe Motor House for 3 days and do a video. And they're like, we'll pay for. They're like, you don't have to worry about anything. We'll pay for the gas and stuff. We've seen your videos. We love it. We want you to come with us. I'm like, okay, cool. And they're like, we're going in October, and we're going to be there between the 16th or the 8th. For a couple of days, like between the 18th and the 31st on Halloween. I'm like, you're going to stay in the Halloween? Like, we're going to do it. Then after that, that's when I found my spleen was acting up, and I was like, I got bad news. I can't do it. I had to take a few months off.
Yeah. So I've been to the for our school.
Yeah.
In Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was cool.
yeah. If that was the one place I would have liked to do, it would have been the Axe Motor House, because not that long ago I got a news update saying that some ghost hunting team went through in Valeska, Iowa, with Axe Motor House, and it went completely wrong.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah,
Yeah,
so did they find somebody else to replace you, or did they just cancel it, or
they did find somebody to replace me. It was a kid like around my age. It was about around my age, and he went there, and I texted the guys after I got done having my soldier. I got rebuttal, and I fully covered, and I didn't get to, and I hadn't seen the video, and I didn't see the video yet that they had on YouTube. But I texted him like, "Hey, how'd it go?" He goes, "It went good. We stayed the whole week, but the kid, he's like the kid we brought with us. He was 27, and he didn't last 5 minutes."
that's funny.
I'm like, "Well, what happened?" He goes, "Well, we were doing a video in it, and all of a sudden, he said if you were here, I guess it was his first time doing it, being a ghost hunter. He had his own YouTube channel, and he goes, if there's anybody here, give me a sign." And I guess something shoved, I guess a piece of furniture and flying, and it freaked the kid out. I guess he ran out of the house, and he said, "I'm not going back in that house. Take me home."
Why do people freak out when things are that they move by themselves? I don't understand that.
I don't
have
know.
You ever seen that, Shane? I've seen stuff move.
Yeah, because we've had things just like fall off the shelf before. Or,
yeah,
you know,
and it's like,
yeah.
I've ran into a couple friends of mine that I know that really aren't into the paranormal, but man, they would be like, "I'd be so out the door so fast," and I'm like, "Why?" I don't know.
I know the first time I took my fiance out ghost hunting, I said, "You want to go with me?" She goes, "Well," I'm like, "Want to go ghost hunting?" She goes, "Okay, I'll give it a try." I will admit, she did get freaked out, and she did run. I did kind of laugh, which wasn't nice, but it was a little funny to me, because I never seen nobody run away that fast. And after that, she went with me, and she's doing a good job. The last 2 times she came with me, she goes, "I want to do it. Can we do something?" I'm like, "What's that?" She goes, "Can we use your camera? And even though you got your own channel," I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Can I do the haunted videos for the next 2 days, and you can record?" I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." And she did an awesome job doing it by herself when I was being the cameraman. She did a terrific job.
That's cool.
Well, it sounds like this lady you guys is a keeper. So
yeah. She's a keeper.
Yeah, you probably want to keep her around. So.
Oh yeah, because I was like, "Okay, we can do it." And all of a sudden, she had caught some of the amazing voices I had never picked up, and we took pictures. We caught shadow figures. We caught a mist, and she got some of the most amazing responses I had never gotten ever since being in the paranormal field. And I'm like, she goes, "Well," I'm like, "You're doing a terrific job." I'm like, I never been this proud, but I'm like, "You should have your own YouTube channel." And she goes, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I did a thing on Facebook and Twitter, and I'm like this, and just like that, less than 5 seconds, I said, "You know what? It's official." She goes, "Well," I'm like, "Everybody's saying that." I'm like, "Next week you're gonna have your own YouTube channel, because for the 2 days you did paranormal with me, and the 5 days you were with me, you did an excellent job." She did not run. She did not freak out.
Good. That's good. That's the kind of woman that you want by your side. So yeah.
Oh yeah. The only thing she doesn't like me doing is provoking. She goes, "You need to have respect, honey." I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
I would listen to her.
Yeah.
So talk about a little bit about the last thing or the next thing you got coming up.
The next thing I got coming up is a new cemetery that's I never been to, and then after that, I believe we're gonna try to see. We're trying to do a nighttime haunted video, but we haven't had any success with that. I did call the owner of the cemetery that we've been going to, and I was like, I called him up not that long ago, and I had him on speakerphone. I'm like, "Hey, we've been going to you guys' cemetery during daytime, and there's no trespass signs and no private property." I'm like, "Do we have permission to come in and do a nighttime video?" He goes, "Do you guys do it?" I'm like, "Yeah, we've been doing daytime." He goes, "No, no, 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 no." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "If you get caught doing it nighttime, it'll be a trespass. It'll be either a
Yeah.
fine, trespassing, or jail time." And I'm like, "That don't make no sense."
Yeah, it's usually
Well, most
what.
cemeteries have nighttime. It's like dawn to dusk is
Yep,
open to the public, and after the sun goes down.
it's
Yeah.
closed.
Because the
So
problem is vandals and everybody else come in there.
yeah,
And
and so right now we're trying to find a cemetery so we can go around and call up and see when she's ready to do a nighttime video, because she ain't ready to do one yet, which I don't blame her. Because I said at nighttime it gets a whole lot active. I said we'll go around and we'll try to see if we can call a cemetery. If they let us do a nighttime video, that's fine, because if somebody calls the cops and they show, they can call the owner, they know we got permission to do that. Because I know sometimes when you go into places, people instantly think the worst and they call the cops and they show up and it's like, we just got permission and all that stuff.
Yeah, I've talked to a couple different people who've experienced that, where they have permission and then the permission is rescinded, and yeah, so
it gets
yeah,
messy.
it does get messy. I mean, it just depends on where you're at too. But besides that one residential that you talked about in the beginning of the show that you did, have you done any more residential?
The one residential before I came to New York was called the Haunted Abandoned Ritual Farm. And
Okay.
that was right next door to me.
Okay.
Okay, that's cool.
And the reason why they called it the Haunted Abandoned Ritual Farm, ex-wife, my ex-wife was like, "Well, if you go there, there's something you need to know." I'm like, "What's there to know? It's just a abandoned farm." She goes, "No, my brother got in trouble with the people that lived there because they hung animals from the ceiling, cut them open, and wrote the blood and the demon symbol on the walls, and did a
Oh,
Ouija board and did rituals on that farm."
oh,
I'm
that's
like,
not good.
"Okay,
No.
well, I'm gonna go." She goes, "Well, if anything happens, she goes, if anything happens, have fun." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." So I went. And I went the first time I went there. Oh, you can feel the bad vibes off of that land. All of a
Right,
sudden,
right.
I took my EMF detector out, and my EMF was just straight red,
Right,
not
Wow.
right.
staying. It was just staying red the whole time. And I'll be hearing noises, and I'll be looking around, and my last time going, and the last time I went there, I was stupid enough, and I bought an Ouija board, which I shouldn't have done back then. And I went
Boy.
there, and I did a Ouija board, and I said, if there's anything here, please make yourself known. And all of a sudden, I heard a huge bang against the steel shed. I ran outside. There was nothing there, and I turned my spill box on, and I got a evil laugh that says, "We are watching you, and you will die if you don't leave this land."
Hmm.
And
Wow.
after that, I'm like, okay, this is getting awesome. And it's like at 10 o'clock at night, I'm still going, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this one more time. So I asked the Ouija board one more time. I'm like, is there anything here that wants to haunt me, or can you make yourself known? And all of a sudden, I had a door behind me shut and pushed me less than 2 feet from the door.
Huh? Yeah, that would have been enough for even for me to be like, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, yeah. To me, my stupid butt stayed. I was like, all right, this is awesome. And then
Yeah.
after that, I left. And the last day I went back there, and I was like, okay, I'm back for my one last time. And all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but I did a spill box, and I didn't have the Ouija board with me, because the one day I had a Ouija board, I had a nightmare about a movie called The Nun, which I never seen. And after touching the Ouija board, and I went on live stream, and I took that Ouija board and I snapped it in half over my knee,
Uh-oh.
and I said, "I'm never touching a Ouija board again."
That's smart.
Yeah.
and I threw it away. And ever since then, it's been 2 years since I had not touched a Ouija board,
That's
Yeah.
good.
and
That's
I do not
good.
plan on touching one anytime soon.
Right. Right.
Yep.
And the last time I went back there, I did a spellbox session, and all of a sudden, something from that phone attached itself to me. Because once I was like, "If there's anything here, please make yourself known." All of a sudden, I got the name William that came through, and the reason, and people like, "Well, what's?" And I asked my ex-wife, like, "Who's William? Who's William?" She goes, that is an evil demonic spirit that haunts that land. That's the my brother and his friends did a ritual to bring up the evil from up did like a portal. I'm like, okay, what's your? She was I'm like, well, one, I don't feel right, and two, I feel funny. And I happen, and every time and the last time I was there with some people, I all of a sudden I heard the name William. My eyes got so red, I blacked out, and I don't recall doing any of this. I took a branch from a tree, snapped it in half, and I started swinging at people that I was not paying attention to. And I took one of the windows I took one of the windows off the steel shed, and I ripped it completely off the hinges, and I started smashing it. And
Wow.
they had to get me off the land ASAP because I was not feeling right. And as soon as we got halfway off the land, I snapped out of it, and I had a killer headache, and I was down for at least 2 weeks.
Do you
Huh.
see a pattern here? I mean, you. It seems to attract it. I mean, the stories that you're telling me are, for anybody that is, into the paranormal, experience the things that you've experienced. A lot of them would just be like, I'm done. I quit. Because. But having said that, with you the way you do things, it would behoove you to probably change some tactics just so that you don't get that attachment and protect yourself. And I've heard other stories and things like this from other people, but if you want to keep doing what you got to do, then
Yeah, but whatever happens will be what you'll get.
Yeah.
right.
So you
Right.
gotta,
Yeah.
so you gotta take a
but-
little more chill.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I've been thinking about easing up. But after me experiencing the cemetery accident, and with me being possessed 2 times, and seeing more or less being possessed, and seeing the face of the devil from the hell in my eyes, that I actually seen that in the cemetery one day, because I asked if you can make yourself known, and I was in like I broke my phone, I threw my camera, and I was sweating profusely, and it was like only like 55 degrees outside. And
Hmm.
and that day I saw the devil himself staring right at me, and I was not myself. And as soon as I left that cemetery, they heard a laughter, and everybody's like, "What was that?" I'm like, "That's William, and he's coming for you," in that deep, scary voice. And that's when they got me in the car, and they left. And by the time we hit the gravel road, I snapped out of it, and I was like, "Where are we?" They're like, "What, a gravel road?" I'm like, "Why am I at the cemetery?" Like, dude, you have to watch your video.
Where was that at? What state?
That was in Clinton, Iowa.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
No, seriously. I knew a couple people that lived right by there. I used to live in Red Oak, Iowa, which is not too far from Clinton. So I know exactly where he's talking about. And
Okay.
in Red Oak, I had one of my most profound experiences with a dark entity in a house.
Oof.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I haven't run across any of those myself. So
yeah, no. So yeah. Iowa may be pretty boring, but man, it's I can't stand Iowa.
Yeah, I can't stand Iowa either. All the time I've been ghost hunting. I had ever since I found out the first time that the Iowa was on top of an Indian burial ground, and every time I ghost hunt, I will get some evil, and I'll be seeing some real crap I do not want to see.
Right. A lot of the things that when you're talking about the land, um, when you investigate or even investigate around the property of a cemetery or something like that, it'd probably be a good idea to do some research to find out how old that land is, and then you could probably tackle it a little bit differently. You know what I mean? If you can get
Yeah.
some names, and that's the biggest thing when going into a location and trying to find the names of people that used to own it or used to live there or something like that, that you can communicate makes that gapping, bridging that gap better. You know what I mean? That's what we try to do. That's what I try to do anyways. Whenever I do a walkthrough or investigation, I'm usually trying to do research unless I'm told I can't do research, and then I have to just gather it all when I show up, which
Yeah.
is usually the way I
Yeah.
do it as of late, just because my camera guy Josh doesn't tell me where we're going, so I have to when I get there, I have to give him all the details what I see before that. So
I know right before I left Iowa, and I went and I booked a motel because I was moving that day. The last time I went back to that cemetery to pay my respects, say and tell our spirits, thank you for letting me come here and investigate. I'm gonna miss you, some of you, because
right.
that cemetery was good spirits, nothing but good spirits. People in the military, the Civil War, everything.
Mhm.
And a
Yep.
farmer came by and was talking to me, and
Yeah.
I had him on video, and we were going through the cemetery together, and I was paying my respects.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah, we have a cemetery like that too.
anybody that's in the Civil War or was in the military that has fought for a country, I pay my respects to that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. Yes.
Because they fought for a country and they died for a country. So I pay my respects to anybody like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
And all
Right.
of a sudden we were walking and we found hidden gravestones we did not even see while we were doing ghost hunting videos, and we found one stone that was dated back in the 1500s.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
And then
That's
after
pretty far
that,
back.
he called his because he was in charge of the thing. He's like, I need somebody down here. And I was helping him out, and we found more gravestones from the 1500s, the 1300s, and the 1900s. It's like, whoa, where did this come from?
Huh. That's crazy. Yeah, we have a couple cemeteries even by me that we have Revolutionary War Cemetery that I've been wanting to check out, but from what I gathered, it's got some history. So I love cemeteries. I mean, it's one of those places where I go and sit and hang out, and it's peaceful. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
I haven't really technically investigated a cemetery. I have a couple that I live by, but yeah,
We've done a few of them,
Yeah.
in daytime and at night. And,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And it
I
seems
try
to
not.
be pretty quiet actually most of the time
Yeah,
for me.
I try not to do the one that my family is buried in. I have one that a third of my family, my ancestors, are buried in the same cemetery. So, but I've been to other ones that are they're just cool,
Yeah.
But
I like the artwork and stuff on some of the stones.
yeah. Some of that stuff is just, and the one thing I do is kudos to the people that are trying to clean up old cemeteries.
Oh yes.
That are taking the headstones and they're cleaning them and putting them a new base on them. And
Yep.
when I was in Colorado, up in Central City, up in the mountains, at the top of Central City, there was like two of these old cemeteries. One was a Catholic cemetery and one was just a regular cemetery. And it had, old gunslingers and that, and just, pioneer people, all that, because it was so old. Well, somebody got the great idea to go through that whole cemetery, find the records, and try to contact any living ancestors that were tied to the grave sites there.
Okay.
And then they asked them if they would want to help restore that, you know what I mean? And
Sure.
there was probably maybe a handful that were still connected to that cemetery. But yeah, when we went up there a couple of years ago, it was really dilapidated and nasty.
Yeah.
And it was sad. You couldn't even hardly read the markers anymore, and it was over with all this brush and everything. Well, then about a year after that, or 2 years after that, I went up there and it looked like a brand new cemetery. It was really cool that somebody took the time to actually try to, refurbish some of that. And people don't think about that, but it's a respect thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Especially the military.
Yeah, we have a lot of them out in our, in the wooded areas that are just, 10 gravestones and a little cleared spot, and that's all it is, and nothing's ever taken care of or done. So
Right.
Yeah, cause I know, right after I paid my respects and I moved to New York, and I know the first time I was editing a video, my fiance what came up to me just came straight up to me, goes, "I got a question." I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" She goes, "Is it okay if I do if you hold a camera and I do a haunted video?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's try it, see how it goes." And yeah, she did an amazing job for almost 5 days of doing ghost hunting with me. This last video I did, she caught a shadow figure 30 feet from me, peeking around the tombstone and peeking back around when she went to angle the camera. And I'm like, she goes, "Well," I'm like, "You are for a camera for me for a not for a awesome fiance and me and you going with me ghost hunting. You have some amazing activities." She goes, "Why?" I'm like, I'm like, "Look at this." She goes, she looked at the editing. I'm like, "That's a shadow figure peeking its head around the corner and peeking its way back." And there was nobody in the cemetery with us at that time. I'm like, "You have picked up some of the most awesome activity ever."
Right.
Cool.
Right. So, is that video up on your YouTube?
It's I did I dropped it about 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll have to definitely check that out.
Yeah.
So, why don't you tell people where they can find you? We're gonna get to wrap it up here in a minute.
Yeah, we got about 3 minutes. So
Yep. So why don't you tell people where they can find you and kind of give your links.
Yeah, you guys can find me on YouTube at Skip's Haunted Adventures, and if I knew my Twitter, I would give my Twitter, but right now I don't know my Twitter because I was locked out of it. Now I got back into it because a whole bunch of stupid crap going on, and no, but you can find me on my YouTube, my Facebook at Travis Campbell. It will have a picture of me, and my fiance on our 5-month anniversary together and everything. So if you guys want to follow me on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. I do have some merch that I have made up too. So if you guys want to check that out, it'll be on my Facebook too.
Oh, okay.
All right, cool.
Are you planning on making a web page?
I've been thinking
Like a
about
website?
it. I've been thinking about it, and I'm thinking about doing it possibly next month.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, that'll be good. And when you get that up, I'll try to remember to mention that because we try to support everybody, and
Yeah.
make sure that everybody knows that who all we're associated with and this and that. So
And to anybody out there that is a fan of the paranormal or whatnot, just follow me on my YouTube. I'm on my Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube all day, messaging people left and right. And when my soon to be future wife makes her channel next month, and she does her first video. If you guys want to link to her channel, I'll give you guys her channel instantly.
yeah, what is her channel's name?
She hasn't had one yet, but she'll be making one next month.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
so when she gets her channel up, I will send you guys a link to her channel when her first video pops up.
Okay.
All right. So I want to thank everybody for tuning into this. I want to thank Travis.
Yep. Thanks, Travis.
Yeah, and thanks for coming on. It's been a while. Yeah.
We shall.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your support, and yeah, this was great. So why don't we say goodbye to Travis and make sure you check him out on YouTube, and eventually he's going to have a website. So I will drop that link when he gives it to me, and everybody else, check it out. Don't miss it. All right.
And to everybody out there, before I go, there's more haunted videos on the way.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Thank
Yep.
you. Thanks for having me on.
Yep.
Yep.
All righty.